As a lot of y'all know, I like a lot of the Disney Plus TV shows they have set for Star Wars. I love The Mandalorian. I loved Obi-Wan. I loved Ahsoka. I wasn't too keen on the Acolyte, and I didn't get into Andor. That being said, they're going to be releasing Andor season 2 pretty soon. I think right after the release of the Skeleton Crew, which I'm excited, but I'm holding it in. I'm tempering my excitement because I'm not sure what they're going to do or how they're going to go as a plot line in this show. It's all up in the air. They're not really talking about it much. I do like Jude Law, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping it's a show that I can watch with my kids. A lot of people have said that it looks like, especially the trailer, how the trailer looks, it looks a lot like Goonies and Flight of the Navigator and a lot of those 80s kids movies that we've seen before, where you go on an adventure and it's for kids. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. Well, I saw an article that was talking about Andor season 2 being released in 2025, like early 2025, I think, since they had the SAG-AFTRA strike and it kind of pushed everything back. So I'll give you my thoughts about season 2 after we read this article. So let me pull it up real quick. So it says everything we know about Andor season 2, release window, plot, cast, and more. Andor was a surprise Star Wars hit in 2022, and it's returning in the near future for a second season. Here's everything we know. And there's Cassian Andor. Star Wars Andor wowed hardcore fans and casual viewers alike with a suspenseful first season that knew when to keep things quiet and when to go big. Now we're eagerly awaiting that second and final season. Here's everything we know about Andor season 2 so far. Disney and Lucasfilm's plans for Star Wars TV shows are ambitious and far-reaching. So far, they include The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett. Oh yeah, I forgot The Book of Boba Fett. I like that book. I like The Book of Boba Fett. I didn't mind it. Ahsoka, The Skeleton Crew. They're all building towards an event movie set in the New Republic era to be released in cinemas eventually, but not before The Mandalorian and Grogu arrives in 2026. Set in other eras, meanwhile, we've also received series such as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, or The Acolyte. But that's just the live action side of things, as animated shows have flourished in recent years too. If you haven't watched the first season of Andor yet, you really should. Be aware that there will be spoilers moving forward. Andor is a prequel to Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which itself was a prequel to A New Hope, the very first Star Wars movie. You might think it couldn't possibly pack too many surprises, but Andor mostly deals with new characters, worlds, and events. It's about how the rebellion we met in this original Star Wars and Rogue One came to be, and carries the tone of a gritty spy political thriller. Originally, Andor Season 2 was expected to arrive during the second half of 2024, probably around the same time as Season 1 premiered in September, but 2023's lengthy SAG-AFTRA strike stopped the production, which was later restarted in early 2024. Disney Plus and Star Wars completed 2025 plans have yet to be publicly announced, but we aren't expecting to see Andor Season 2 before spring of 2025, with the summer being a very likely window too. Andor Season 1 takes place roughly 5 years before the events of Rogue One and A New Hope. The idea is that Season 2 will cover the next 4 years, with 3 episode arcs for each one, making the total 12 episodes, 24 when combined with Season 1. This will also be the show's final season, as the original 5-season plan that they had initially envisioned was turned into a tighter narrative that covered the same main story beats. At the end of Season 1, there was a major civilian uprising against the Empire on Ferrix, the planet where Cassian Andor had grown up, following Marva Andor's death. All the plot threads of the season and characters groups collided there, except for Mon Mothma, the senator from Chandrilia, soon to become rebel leader, who had been secretly funding proto-rebel operations. With the spark of rebellion now threatening to slowly undo everything the Empire has done, it's reasonable to expect that things will get even darker, with the Imperials being more oppressive and trying to snuff out any resistance groups before they grow larger. Cassian Andor is now fully on board with Luthen Rao's daring operations, and we've learned from set pictures and videos that his path will cross with Mon Mothma soon. We mustn't forget about other major Season 1 players either, namely Cyril Karn and Deidre Miro, whose relationship will surely be difficult as they try to hunt down the rebels on their own. We might also meet familiar faces from A New Hope and the Star Wars Rebels animated series as the Rebel Alliance gets closer and closer to the bigger faction that we saw in Yavin 4. Cassian, Luthen, and his close allies aren't the only ones trying to fight against the Empire, and of course, let's not forget about the final Death Star tease in Season 1 as the series approaches the early moments of Rogue One. Though some leaked footage from the last Star Wars celebration made its way online, Disney and Lucasfilm haven't released official trailers or previews for Andor Season 2 yet, and it'll be a while before we see anything coming from the official channels. We aren't expecting promotional material to start coming in until the start of 2025 at the earliest. We'll be updating this article as soon as the first look footage that is officially released online hits. Diego Luna, Kylie Sawyer, Stellan Skarsgård, Denise Go, and Genevieve O'Reilly are confirmed to be returning for Season 2 as the main players of the show. Ben Mendelsohn, Adria Arroja are in too. The former is reprising his role from Rogue One. While we don't have confirmation yet, it's very likely we haven't seen the last of Verada Sethu, Faye Marseille, Anton Lesser, Elizabeth Dulau, Joplin Sibtain, Forrest Whitaker, and Robert Ems, among others. Fans are also expecting to see more familiar faces as the story gets closer to the event of Rogue One and A New Hope. Two potential returning actors are Jimmy Smits and Ian McDermott, while wilder cameos could include Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and characters from the Star Wars Rebel series, but we aren't that confident about those. Andor Season 2 will be split between three directors, Ariel Clayman, Janice Metz, and Alonso Ruiz Palacios. Series creators and showrunners Tony Gilroy, Dan Gilroy, Bo Willman, and Andor newcomer Tom Bissell have written this new set of 12 episodes. Composer Nicholas Britell is expected to return to score the second Season 2. So what do you think? Are you down for Andor Season 2? I know a lot of people loved Andor. They loved the political spy aspect of it and just everything about it. For me, honestly, I didn't like Andor Season 1 because it felt like out of all of the series, the TV series that Disney put up, Andor was the least Star Wars feeling show that they had out there. It was more like a space political spy thriller. And it could have stood on its own as that. They didn't even have to say Star Wars. They could have just put it out there and called it, space thriller or something, and it would have stood on its own. Now, Season 2, I'm open to it. If it's like Season 1, I have to say, Season 1, I stopped and started 3 different times. I had to force myself to get through it because it kind of bored me. But Season 2, as they get closer to Rogue One, I think it might pick up and be more fun to watch, and maybe it'll be more Star Wars-ish to me. Maybe they'll bring in Darth Vader or someone, Forrest Whitaker or people from Rogue One into this Season 2 of Andor, which would probably make it really great. But we'll just have to wait and see. Like they said, it's been pushed back because of SAG-AFTRA strike, and hopefully it comes out like the first part of 2025, but they're saying it's probably going to be summer of 2025 before it really comes out. So Put your comments below on what you think about Andor season 2. Are you going to watch it? Are you excited about it? Are you just not worried about it at all? As for me, I'll watch it. I might have some movie watches about it, and definitely have some live streams about the show. And I'm keeping an open mind. I'm not against it. I'll just see what happens. But if you're liking my content, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and like the video. And if you're wondering what I think about Disney and how they handle Star Wars, you should really check out this video. It talks all about, is Disney good or bad for Star Wars? Are they? I don't know. You have to watch the video. So check it out. And remember, the Force will be with you always.